Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles, and I welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, the topic is, are the Clippers locked to re-sign Kawhi Leonard in free agency after his surgery? So that's the topic I want to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, make sure you go ahead and check out Dreamerspro Max, an online sports community, place where you can go and start basketball discussions, chat live during games, and so many other cool things. So if you guys are interested in that, be sure to check that out. We have that linked in the comment section below. And also make sure you go ahead and click the join button to join the channel to receive loyalty badges from us. So anyway, let me get into this topic here. There's some news that came out yesterday, so I said, hey, why not touch on this? And plus, some people have been sending me sending me this information. So I said, okay, let me get into it here. So going into the playoffs this year, I thought I picked the Clippers to be representing the Western Conference, but ultimately I thought it was going to be the Clippers and the Lakers to be fighting for the Western Conference. I mean, to see who's going to represent the Western Conference in the NBA Finals. That's what I thought it was going to be. But then, once the playoffs started and I saw that the Lakers made it out, couldn't make it out of round one due to injuries, and they just got beat by the Phoenix Suns, I thought that the Clippers had a legitimate shot to make it to the NBA Finals this year. I didn't think it was going to be an easy road, but I thought they had a legitimate shot. Now, they obviously were going to face the Dallas Mavericks in round one, a team in which they faced last year that took them to 6 games. This year, they ended up playing them, and they ended up taking them to 7 games. So I didn't think it was going to be, like a cakewalk, but I thought, okay, listen, the Clippers and the Lakers are the two best teams in the Western Conference, and if the Lakers are out, then it makes their task just a little bit easier because they were gone. And they were advancing. They were playing well. They got out of the first round. They made it to the second round, and then the unthinkable happened. And Kawhi Leonard ended up getting himself injured, or he got injured in the second round in Game 4, right? And when he got injured at first, we all thought that it was going to be fine, right? Because that's exactly what he said at the end of the game. They asked him, they said, Kawhi, how do you feel? Because you saw him once, I think he bumped into Joe Ingles. I forgot the player's name. He bumped into Joe Ingles, and he ran out of bounds. And then he immediately went to the bench. Once he sat down, he didn't check back in the game all the way to the end of the game. Until the game finished, he didn't come back in the game. So we thought that, okay, is something wrong? Is like, what's going on here? And at the end of the game, when they asked him, they said, how do you feel? He said, everything will be fine. Next question. So we thought, okay, everything was going to be fine. And then the next thing you know, he was gone, right? And then the Clippers just became very, very secretive. And then it became a guessing game. What's going on with Kawhi Leonard? Will he come back? You never know. And since that Game 4, we never saw him again up until Game 6 when they were playing against the Phoenix Suns in LA. We heard, at least this is the news that I saw on CBS Sports, that we heard that Kawhi Leonard was listed as a game time decision. So I thought, okay, he's going to play in this game. And of course, he didn't play in Game 6, right? And then ultimately they lost and he never came back, right? And that was it. The Clippers lost in the playoffs about 6 weeks ago or so, and we didn't hear anything from this team up until yesterday. Yesterday was the first big news that we heard about the Clippers as it pertains to Kawhi Leonard, and they released the information that Kawhi Leonard got surgery on his right ACL. Now I'm reading this, I'm getting this information here from NBA.com, and they said LA Clippers all-star forward Kawhi Leonard underwent successful surgery to repair a partial tear of his right anterior cruciate ligament. The LA Clippers announced on Tuesday there's no timetable for his return. So as of now, this is the news that we're getting, that Kawhi Leonard actually got surgery on his ACL. And generally what they're saying is the average kind of recovery time for this type of surgery, they said it usually takes from 9 to 12 months to return from such a surgery. Now, if that's the case, this means that definitely we will not be seeing Kawhi Leonard at the beginning of the season, and we'll definitely see him sometime later on, probably this year or next year, assuming he resigns with the team, which I'm going to get to, right? So now is July. So you have August, September, October, November, December. Yeah, we probably won't see Kawhi Leonard probably for the majority of the season, according to what they're saying as far as the recovery time for such an injury, right? Now, I don't know, but they said his return time is, he has no return time. And knowing Kawhi Leonard, given the fact that he seems to be a player that's very, very cautious about his health, they may be a legitimate shot that we don't see him for a good majority of the next season. Now, which brings me to the next case. Will Kawhi Leonard re-sign with the team, given the fact that he just had this surgery? Well, here are my thoughts on this. My hunch is this. I think of all the teams out there, especially given the fact that now he just got this surgery, I think of all the teams out there, I think the Clippers would probably be the team that had the most confidence in Kawhi Leonard. Why? Because usually teams become a little bit trepidatious when a particular player that they're looking to sign has an injury past. But in this particular instant, Kawhi Leonard is coming off of an injury, so he's not going to be available. The only other scenario in which I can think of where a situation like this was similar was that of Kevin Durant. Remember, Kevin Durant was playing with the Golden State Warriors. They were in the NBA Finals. He injures himself, I think it's in Game 5 or Game 6, in the NBA Finals, ruptures his Achilles tendon, right? And he goes into the free agency market. And from that point, Kevin Durant had to make a decision on whether or not he was going to return to the Golden State Warriors or go to another team. And it looked like teams out there were eager to sign him, like the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets signed a Kevin Durant that was injured. He was recovering from an injury, but they knew that, listen, once this guy recovers and he gets back to himself, he's going to be worth every single penny. And it turned out to be that he was worth every single penny. Had Kevin Durant had more help in that Eastern Conference Finals, the Brooklyn Nets would probably be in the NBA Finals right now. So he was definitely worth it. So there are teams out there that have shown that, listen, you can come on over, even though you're injured. We know what you bring to the table. We know your past. We know we know what you're all about. So come on home. Come on in. We'll happily sign you. So there probably are some teams out there that would feel that same way, given the fact of what Kevin Durant just went. And maybe that could be a bargaining chip that Kawhi Leonard may have in his back pocket and say, listen, before I played with the Toronto Raptors, I was injured there. And then I went to go sign with the Toronto Raptors and I was able to help them capture a championship, their first championship ever. So maybe Kawhi Leonard does have some leverage, maybe which makes him a little bit unique, maybe than other players or lesser players who are coming off of an injury going into free agency. But I do think of all the teams, though, I think the Clippers probably have the most confidence in him, given the fact he just spent the last 2 seasons playing with the team. Now, from Kawhi Leonard's vantage point, maybe Kawhi may think, okay, listen, I'm already in LA. This team just exhibited that they have everything that it takes to get to the NBA Finals, right? Like they're a championship team. They have a fantastic coach. And if I re-sign with this team, not only am I securing my financial future, but I'm ensuring that I'm going to remain on a contender, as opposed to going to another team that's kind of knocking at the door, but not really there, maybe to go play with the Miami Heat. Now, the Miami Heat just went to the NBA Finals 2 years ago, but it was very strange to see a 5th seed get to the NBA Finals. And this year they didn't make it that far in the playoffs at all. So regarding his, as it pertains to his decision, I think that this injury may play a role, and I think maybe securing a financial future with this team may be something. But then again, we don't know. He may decide to go sign with another team. But this injury, given the fact that he won't be back anytime soon, according to what they're saying, for a 9 to 12 month period, it makes things a little bit more blurry. And free agency is going to be that much more interesting once it starts. Free agency starts in less than a month. I think free agency starts at 12 a.m. on August 6th, if I'm not mistaken. So there's going to be a lot of stuff happening then. I think there's going to be a lot more excitement then. But for now, these are my thoughts, and I just think we just have to wait and see. But this is what I think up until this point. So what I want to know from you guys is, what do you think about this Kawhi Leonard injury? Where do you think it puts the Clippers? Do you think they're still in the driver's seat to re-sign him? Or do you think, listen, this guy could possibly walk and go to another team? And if so, what team do you think he would go to? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoy the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro, wishing you guys an amazing day, and catch you guys on the next episode.